11 years, 4 Pro Bowls, and just had a 2-year coaching stint with Texas A&M and Jimbo Fisher. Antonio Cromartie is joining us. First of all, how was that coaching thing? Now you had to deal with all these players and all their stuff. How did you like that?
No, I loved it. I loved every single bit of it, and I love the experience. I thank Jimbo and that staff and that program for giving me an opportunity to go out and coach, because it just turned on a fire in me that showed me that I really want to coach, and I feel like that's the purpose of me being able to go out there. I love the way I can build a relationship with the kids and be able to get them to do the things that we need them to do.
So I watched Hard Knocks, and I heard the stories about the Jets' offensive line struggles against Carolina. And, Antonio, last time you were with the Jets, they were on Hard Knocks. Did you find it a distraction to have cameras everywhere? Rex Ryan was there, Mark Sanchez. What did you make of Hard Knocks and just having people around the building?
Honestly, man, after the first day or two, you start to get used to the cameras being around. You start moving around and start doing things like they're not even there anymore. So I think that's what the organization is doing now. This is the second stint with it, and I think they just know how to go about it and move in a way that makes sure that they can still get everything done in a way that they can capitalize on everything.
Robert Saleh is a little under the gun. He and Aaron do seem to have kind of the same personality. They're kind of upfront. They're honest. They feel pretty authentic. But when you're in New York, Antonio, the media is pretty relentless if you don't get off to a good start. Are you a little concerned when you look at their O-line issues and the defenses they face early? If they start 3-3, are you concerned about the reaction and the heat on Saleh?
No, I think that's too much if they start 3-3. But only thing I'm really concerned about is the offensive line, and it's not the guard, the center position. It's more of the edges, as Aaron Rodgers would say. Also, I think when you have Dwayne Brown coming back, I need to see Mekhi trusting his ACL and go out there and trust in what his rehab has done and the stuff that he's been through already to get back and go out and go play where he needs to be playing. I mean, say he's gotten down in weight. He's down like the 330, 340 range. So that should help him a little more, take a little more pressure off his knees. But it's the depth that more so scares me on the offensive line, because if you're already talking about the edges from that standpoint that you have there now, injuries happen throughout the whole entire season. So it's always going to be in the next man up mentality. So you got to find your best 5, and then you got to find your next 2 or 3 that can rotate in and out if injuries happen.
So I know people can say, well, it's only practice. But coaches care about practice. Mm-hmm. When you were in the NFL, you found out a lot about your teammates in practice. So it does matter. And also, Antonio, starters don't play in the preseason much. So increasingly, practice matters even more. Inter-squad practices. So Dak the other day had 3 interceptions. We got video of each, and they were bad picks. And he's a veteran. It's not a big deal, but they were bad picks. Isn't it something?
Yes.
So you think it's something?
It's something. And I say that because when on one of the plays, I think it was one of the red zone plays, he threw that pick was by far the worst.
Yes.
Because you had a running back running out in the flare, the linebacker drops underneath, so they're in a zone coverage, and the first thing you do is try to throw an out route to the side where the linebacker's dropping to. That's quarterback one-on-one. If it's not there, don't try to force it, drop it down to the back or whatever. Try to get rid of it from that standpoint. And I think the other one was it was a deep ball that the receiver actually had Trayvon Diggs beat for by a yard, and he underthrew it by a yard and a half. So he's throwing bad balls, but at the same time, it's practice. It's something to be worried about, but it's something that can be fixed and as he goes on in the situation. But you just want – the thing that I hated was Dak had to come out and say, I would not throw this many picks next year. Now everybody's watching you in practice and counting how many picks that you throw in practice.
So,
when he just should have been Dak and just say, you know what, let me go out and just do what I'm supposed to do. No reason to comment on anything that anybody else says outside of this organization. My job is to be the leader and the starting quarterback for this organization to go out and go lead them into the playoffs and try to get us to the Super Bowl.
So C.J. Stroud had a bad pick. My takeaway is kind of Belichick, this is what he does with rookie quarterbacks. He throws a bunch of stuff at you. You make bad picks. C.J. looks big. He's mobile. I've seen him at the podium. I don't see any cocky. Seems like a good kid. What did you make of his opening performance against Belichick?
He went 2 for 4 and threw an interception. I think it's 2 for 4 with 13 yards, and he threw an interception. The interception was bad because if you look at it, the tight end or whoever was in the flare at that point in time was wide open. They was in a cover 4 where the number 2 receiver went over the top of the quarterback, went over the top of the linebackers, and the backside safety set underneath the number 1 receiver when he just threw the ball. When he had the actual tight end who chipped was wide open, who could have got you 6 or 7 yards in that position. So it's like he got to understand, take what the defense gives him. Don't try to force a ball. He had the crossing route also that actually came open late.
Yep.
But it's a learning curve. And that's something that he has to go through. He has to figure out how to go through, and that's something that they're going to go watch in film to make sure that he understands, like, hey, you don't have to force this ball. Yeah, it may be third down, maybe second down, but let's try to get some chunk yards back by dumping the ball down because there was nobody in the flats covering the guy at all.
Yeah. Antonio Cromartie, 11 years, 4-time Pro Bowler, stopped by our show on late notice. Good seeing you. Have a great weekend. We'll be watching the preseason tonight and over the weekend, man. Thanks.
Definitely. Appreciate you having me on.
You bet. Yeah. When we showed that video of C.J. Stroud, the one thing you found very quickly is the pocket completely eroded. So a little bit of nerves, little anxiety, got a crowd on the road, don't have great offensive protection up front. It's going to be ugly. Again, it's teaching your kid to drive in New York City traffic. It's just fast. You're going to get into a wreck. It's not going to be pretty. And by the way, not only do rookie quarterbacks, it's almost unbelievable. Rookie quarterbacks throw twice as many picks, almost, as touchdowns against Belichick. They're 6-24. But here's what's amazing. Their passer rating's in the 60s, and they complete 55% of his throws. And, oh, by the way, in the career of Bill Belichick, there have been some great rookie quarterbacks. This is not a bunch of stiffs. Now, he's had some stiffs, but there's been some rookie quarterbacks in there that are really good players. 55% completion percentage. So Bill makes it really rough on the kids. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.